Good morning everyone and welcome to your first lesson of this week. Hopefully you've managed to do all the exercises of paragraph 6.1. Today we're going to start with a new part of this chapter, and this next part is all about drawing graphs. And today I'm going to show you two examples of two different graphs. First I'll show you a bar chart. This information, I'll talk about it in a minute. And after that, I'm going to talk about a line graph. So let's start with a bar chart. What did I do? Was looking at the Eredivisie and then at the amount of points that clubs got after the winter break. And I chose 5 different clubs. Unfortunately, Feyenoord is the best club after the winter break. Maybe Mr. Leermakers will be happy with that, but who knows. And we're going to make a bar chart with this. And a bar chart is basically trying to compare the amount of points all of the clubs have. We're going to do that as follows. We're going to start with a set of x's, but we only need positive numbers, which means we're going to draw it like this. And I'm going to think, how high does this line, how long does it need to be? The biggest amount of points is 22, which means if I take steps of 2, my graph will be 11 centimeters long. That is okay. So, you probably can't see it yet. You should probably just skip like 10 seconds and then hopefully I'm finished with drawing this line, because drawing a line is really hard sometimes. And then I'm going to draw it like this. A little bit longer. Just checking if you can see the bottom. Yes, that's good. So now I'm going to write down the numbers over here. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and 22. And it's important to know which of what the axis represents. So in this case, this is the amount of points. And the x-axis, I'm going to write down the clubs. In the bar chart, it's important to make sure that you leave spaces in between the bars. So, for example, I'm going to put Feyenoord over here, then PSV, Ajax, Willem II and RKC. Note that there are spaces in between these bars. So first off, Feyenoord. Feyenoord has 22 points, which means that the bar will be really long. And make sure that it doesn't touch the y-axis. Let's finish it off. And usually you give it like a color. You can try and pause the video and see if you can do it for the other 4 clubs as well. In the meantime, I'll also do that. PSV has 18 points. So, like that. My drawing skills, this will probably be the longest video yet, but please bear with me. Also going to grab this. Then Ajax, which is obviously shorter than PSV's bar. know that some of you are probably somewhat annoyed at home right now because I like to portray Ajax as bad. So this is dropping markers. Then the fourth one. Fortunately, Willem II is not doing as well as they were in the first half of the season. They're only 11th after the December break, I think. And last but not least is RKC. They have 7 points, so it will only be a really small bar. And notice that all of the bars do not touch each other. I wrote down what the axes represent. So this one represents clubs, this one represents the amount of points. And one thing is still missing, which is a title. So this is the amount points after the winter break. Every single graph requires a title. The second one, a line graph, is usually used when you want to show something change through time. In this case, we're going to look at the corona cases in the Netherlands, and this is basically a starting point. Then after 1 week, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, and after 4 weeks. Okay. Once again, we're going to start with a x-axis and a y-axis. In this case, I'm going to put the cases on the y-axis. And since there is a really big difference between these numbers, I'm going to use steps of 1000. Which means it will only be a pretty small line graph, but that's fine. This is barely readable, apparently. Let's try this one. And then I'm going to so over here, the amount of cases, and this is 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, and 5000, and 0 over here. And over here I'm going to write down the amount of days. So this is after 0 days, after 7 days, 14, 21, 28. In a line graph, you want to write down all of your information first as if it were coordinates. So the 24th of February is our starting point, in which there's only one case. So it's like a point almost on top of the x-axis. And the same thing goes for 1 week later. After 7 days, it's only 18 cases, so it's still really, almost didn't go up. Then after 2 weeks, raised a little bit. Then after 3 weeks, it started to rise somewhat fast, and now after this is, I think, yesterday's number, we're at this rate over here, and then we have to connect these dots. This one, the start is almost flat. Is this worrying? Yeah, it should be worrying, but fortunately the government is also taking steps. Then one more thing, we need a title. So this is the amount of corona cases in the Netherlands. Hopefully this makes sense, and you're going to practice with this as well.